Lesson 10.4 covers inscribed angles. So the first thing is if an angle is inscribed in a circle, and so that's our picture here. We have angle 1 is inscribed in a circle. So it has endpoints on the circle itself, which is A and B, and then the vertex is also on the circle. So if an angle is inscribed in the circle, then the measure of the angle, which is here angle 1, so measure of angle 1, is 1/2 the measure of the intercepted arc. So 1/2 the measure of arc AB. And it goes the other way around. The measure of arc AB is 2 times the measure of angle 1. So for example, if angle 1 was 40 degrees, then the arc here would be 80 degrees. If 2 inscribed angles intercept the same arc or congruent arcs, then the angles are congruent. So in this picture, we have angle C right here intersects arc DA, and the same with inscribed arc or inscribed angle B also intersects DA. So that would tell us that measure of angle C equals the measure of angle D. If we know also the other way around, that the measure of angle C equals the measure of angle B, then we know that the arcs are also equal. So in this one, we know that the measure of angle C equals the measure of angle B, since the measure of angle C equals 1/2 the measure of arc DA, and the measure of angle B equals 1/2 the measure of arc DA. An inscribed angle, when we have that, and if I join the 2 endpoints here and it's a diameter, then this angle right here has to be a right angle. So the measure of angle FGH equals 90 degrees, and that since FH is the diameter. So if you know that angle G is 90 degrees, you know that angle F and angle H have to add up also to be 90 degrees. If we inscribed a quadrilateral in a circle, then the opposite angles are supplementary. So the measure of angle L plus the measure of angle N would equal 180 because they're opposite, and the measure of angle K plus the measure of angle M would also equal 180. So let's look at a few example problems. In the first one, we want to find the measure of angle X. Angle X is right here. We know that it's 1/2 of the intercepted arc. So the measure of angle X equals 1/2 the measure of angle arc ZW. So that's 1/2 of 86. So the measure of angle X would equal 43 degrees. Next, we want to find the measure of arc XY. And we know that the measure of arc XY is 2 times the measure of angle Z. So the measure of XY is 2 times 52 degrees. So the measure of arc XY would equal 104 degrees. We want to find the measure of angle R, and if I look at this, TS intercepts QT, and angle R right here intercepts also QT. So I know that the measure of angle R equals the measure of angle S. So 12x minus 13 equals 9x plus 2. Subtract the 9x from both sides. I have 3x. Add the 13 and I have 15. So x equals 5. But I want to find the measure of angle R, so I'll plug that in. So 12 times 5 minus 3 would give us that the measure of angle R, minus 13. Which is 60 minus 13, which gives us that angle R is 47 degrees. We want to find the measure of angle A and angle B. Well, we know that AB is a diameter. That makes the measure of angle ACB 90 degrees. This has to be a right angle. So we know that the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B has to equal 90 degrees because 90 plus 90 is 180. So the measure of angle A was x plus 4, 8x minus 4, plus 8x minus 4 equals 90. So that's 9x plus 4 minus 4 is 0 equals 90. So x equals 10. The measure of angle A equals 10 plus 4, which is 14 degrees. The measure of angle B equals 8 times 10 minus 4, which gives us 76 degrees. Next, we have a circle with a quadrilateral that's inscribed inside of the circle. So we know that the opposite angles are supplementary. So in other words, the measure of angle V plus the measure of angle S has to equal 90 degrees. Well, the measure of angle V is 90 degrees. So that means, the measure of angle V plus the measure of angle X equals 180 degrees. They're supplementary. The measure of angle V is 90 degrees. We add the measure of angle S, and that will give us 180 because they're supplementary. That gives us the measure of angle S is 90 degrees. We know that the measure of angle U plus the measure of angle T, because they're opposite angles, they're supplementary, is 180 degrees. So 14x plus 8x plus 4 equals 180 degrees. That gives us 22x plus 4 equals 180 degrees. So 22x equals 176. Divide both sides by 22, we get that x equals 8. So the measure of angle U equals 14 times 8, which gives us 112 degrees. The measure of angle T equals 8 times 8 plus 4, which gives us 68 degrees. And that concludes the lesson for 10-4.